So if all the conditions are satisfied, it becomes which one? Amalgamation in the nature of, clear, as per accounting standard 14, if all the following conditions are satisfied, it becomes what? Merger. All assets must be taken over, all liabilities should be taken over at book value, and purchase consideration should be in the form of what? Shares. However, you can give the fraction in cash. 90% of shareholders in selling company should agree to become what? Shareholders in purchasing company. Business should be continued. Even if only one condition is violated, that becomes what? Absorption. As per AS 14, whatever is paid to the shareholders is consideration. It can be a lump sum method if it is given in the question. Otherwise, if payments are clearly given, how many shares are given to equity, preference, cash, etc., add it, you will get which one? Purchase consideration. If it is not available, go by which method? Assets minus liability. Intrinsic value is nothing but an extension of which method? Net assets method and the mari. Shares also can be exchanged based on what? Market value. We have done various questions based on how to calculate purchase consideration and the mari panno. Then we have learned the journal entries in the books of which company? Purchasing company. If it is merger, what to do? If it is purchase, what to do on the mari. First entry, there will be no difference at all. Business purchase to liquidator of selling company, no difference. Only in the assets and liabilities taken over. If it is merger, we will follow which one? Everything book value. Purchase na revised value, and assets which are not having a value will not be taken over. Okay, liabilities, reserves also book value. Here only external liabilities at what value? Revised value. Then the balancing for will become what? General reserve in merger. In case of purchase, it becomes what? Goodwill or capital reserve. Purchase consideration is settled. Liquidator of selling company to whatever is given. That is most the same. Then if you have to maintain any reserves, in case of merger, no entry required. In case of purchase, we create which one? Amalgamation adjustment accounted out to those reserves. If liquidation expense of selling company borne by the purchasing company, general reserve to cash or bank, here it is goodwill or capital reserve accounted out to cash or bank. Mutual dues you cancel. If there is a stock reserve, eliminate from P&L account as well as from what? Stock. This is what we had seen, we have done. And in the books of selling company also we learned where we prepared standard 5 ledger accounts maximum. Maximum we prepare what? Standard 5 ledger accounts, right? So on the Devasara Limited question is one of the best question to check it. We transfer except which one? Preliminary expenses, because it's a loss to be borne by the equity shareholders. Creditors transfer பண்ணுவோம். Then purchase consideration due, purchasing company to realization transfer பண்ணுவோம். Then get the consideration in shares as well as in cash. If there is any expenses, you have to bear the expenses. If there is any sale of asset, you have to sell the assets. If there is any payment of liabilities, you have to make the payment. Settle the preference shareholders first. And the Devasara Limited la paathirpom. 5 lakhs, where we are paying what? 6 lakhs now. Excess will be adjusted with which account? Realization account. Thereafter, close the realization account. Transfer capital and reserves. The balance left will be settled to whom? Equity shareholders. Standard 5 ledger accounts we used to prepare in the books of which company? Selling company. So this is a fundamental thing that is required for solving the problems. Next, this MTP question on the which one? Hari Vayu Limited, same question we have done. Regular class question number, which question number? The class la panna question na. Regular class question number 16 நினைக்கிறேன் இல்லையா? Regular class question number 16. Okay, that we are not going to do same question now. You can go through the notes also. We'll directly go with ICAI material. We'll directly go with which one? ICAI material. Come to question number 9. Practical question number 9. Read the question number 9, then we'll start solving. We are given the balance sheet of which company? Yes and no limited கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Share capital reserves, long-term borrowings, plant property equipment, uh, issued and subscribed capital 10 each. எல்லாமே 10 each கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Everything is given in what? 10 each. It is given yes limited will absorb no limited. Members of it, no limited will get one share for every 5 shares at a premium of what? 2 per share கொடுத்திருக்கா. Held in no limited கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Necessary approvals are obtained கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Rupees in lakhs or rupees in thousands are? Rupees in crores. So what is a share capital? 5 crores na எவ்வளவு shares இருக்கும்? Start. Let us work out. This is question number 1 in ICAI practical questions. Purchase consideration. This is net payment method. Net payment method purchase consideration. How many shares are there? 5 crore divided by 10 na 0.5 crore shares will be there. So 0.5 crore shares into 1 share for every 5 shares na enna tharuvom? 0.1 crore shares. So 0.1 crore shares multiplied with 10 plus 2, 12 rupees. 0.1 crore into 12 rupees. 1 rupees, 1.2 crores is the purchase consideration. Correct? Rupees 1.2 crores is the purchase consideration. Any doubt in it? Next. Amalgamation in the nature of என்ன சொல்லிட்டாங்க? Amalgamation in the nature of merger. Okay. In the books of which company we have to do first? Yes Limited போட்டுக்கலாம் first. That is amalgamated company, otherwise called as purchasing company. Better to use the word amalgamated company. What is the first entry we'll pass? Business purchase account data 2. Liquidator of which company? No limited account. Rupees in crores. Then all assets and liabilities should be taken over at book value. What are the assets? All the assets, PPE, current assets, everything. Example போடும்போது individual போடுங்க, it's okay here. Current assets account data. What is the book value of the asset? No limited order, the selling company order. 6 crores, 34 crores. 2. What are the liabilities? 2. Current liabilities. Current liabilities how much? 15. 2. What is the next one? Long-term borrowings. Long-term borrowings 10 இருக்கும். Then even reserves and surplus will be maintained. Even reserves and surplus will be what? Maintained. Any details about reserves and surplus given? Any data about reserves and surplus given? No, no other thing. So to business purchase 1.2 crores, balancing for will become what? General reserve. balancing for becomes a general reserve. Then settle the purchase consideration. Liquidator of no limited account debtor. How much? 1.2 crores. To equity share capital will be face value only. Yes. Balancing for reserves and surplus. The name of the reserve is not mentioned, so that's why we take that as a balancing for. So 0.1 crore into the face value will go to capital, and to securities premium, and the 0.1 crore into how much? 0.1 crore into 2 rupees will go to premium. That will be 0.2. This is for the settlement of purchase consideration. If there is a mutual due, we have to cancel. If there is a mutual due, we need to cancel. Is there a mutual due, Parang? Is there a mutual due? Yes, irukku. Liability side, asset side la paranga. Loan irukku, loan from loan to irukku paranga. Long term loans irukku illaya. So loans to no limited account debtor to loan from S limited னு cancel பண்ணணும். Mutual dues இருக்கு பாருங்க. Working notes கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. What is the loan mutual loan that is to be cancelled? 10 crores. This is a mutual due that will be cancelled. They don't ask ledger account. They ask you only what? Journal entry. This is in the books of which company? S Limited. Then in the books of which company we need to do? In the books of no limited, அங்கேயும் journal entry தான் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. We can do it. Please remember the order of transfer, then you will be able to do the journal entry. Only journal entry is asked. Only journal entry is asked. We can do that. What is the order of preparing the realization account? Transfer assets. In entry pass பண்ணுவோம். Realization account data. Instead of preparing ledger account, நம்ம journal entry போட போறோம். To plant property and equipment account, to current assets account. Book value தானே transfer பண்ணுவோம். Merger தான், so automatic book value தான். So plant property equipment 34. We'll transfer asset to realization. We'll transfer assets to realization. Next, transfer liabilities to realization. What is entry for transferring liability? Current liability account debtor. Current liability account debtor. Long-term borrowing account debtor. Borrowing account debtor to which account? Realization account. Ledger போடுறது போல இங்க journal entry அவ்வளவுதான். 15, 10, total எவ்வளவு இருக்கும்? 25. Next, there is no miscellaneous expenditure in the question. Purchase consideration due. What is entry? What is entry? Yes, limited account debtor to realization account. This is for the purchase consideration due. What is the purchase consideration due? 1.2 crores. 1.2 crores. In which form we are getting the purchase consideration? Shares in which company? Yes, limited account debtor 1.2 crores to to Yes Limited account 1.2 crores. In this question, there is no preference shareholder to be settled, no preference shareholder to be settled, no liquidation expenses, no payment of liabilities, nothing. இப்போ இங்க debit minus credit method போட்டா profit or loss வந்துடும். Here we debit realization account, here credit realization account, here one credit realization account. So what is the net? Debitல 40 இருக்கும், creditல 25 and 1.2 இருக்கும். So 13.8 is like a loss. It's like a loss. Equity shareholders account data net loss. எவ்வளவு loss? 13.8 to realization account. Loss is equal to debit ல இருக்கிற 25 plus 1.2 minus credit ல இருக்கிற 40. In realization account. Ledger prepare பண்ணாலும் அதே தான் வரும் 13.8. Then we can prepare which account? We can transfer equity share capital and reserves and surplus to equity shareholders account. Equity share capital account data, reserves and surplus account data. Ledger ல போடுறதுக்கு பதிலா இங்க journal entry அவ்வளவுதான். To equity shareholders account. What is equity share capital of the selling company? 5 crore. Reserves and surplus 10 crore. Total எவ்வளவு இருக்கும்? 15 crore. You can cross check also. Equity shareholders account credit level இருக்காங்க. Equity shareholders credit ல 15 crore இருக்குங்க. Debit level இருக்கு 13.8 crore இருக்கு. So net amount is payable to them. இல்லையா? 15 crore credit ல இருக்கு. If you prepare equity shareholders account 13.8 crore debit ல வரும். Net amount is payable to them. Equity shareholders account data to what we are going to give? Shares in which company? No limited account. No limited account. How much we'll allot? And the 1.2 crore purchase consideration வந்து allot பண்ணி close பண்ணிடும். Shares in S limited. The ledger account prepare பண்ணா realization account prepare பண்ணா to sundry assets to PPE எவ்வளோ 6 crores, to current assets how much? 34 crores, by current liability 15 crores, by borrowings 10 crores, by Yes Limited for the purchase consideration due 1.2 crore. The tally பண்ணா by equity shareholders account loss will come as a balancing figure. அதான் the 13.8. This will come as a balancing figure. If you prepare which company? Yes Limited account prepare பண்ணா to realization. To realization, what is the purchase consideration? 1.2. We are getting what? Shares in Yes Limited 1.2. இங்க தேவையில்லை, just for your reference I am doing. Then when you prepare equity shareholders account, we'll put by equity share capital. எவ்வளவு equity share capital இருக்கு? 5 crore இருக்கு. By reserves and surplus, selling company of reserves and surplus 10 crores are there. The to realization loss, எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 13.8 இருக்கு. realization loss 13 இருக்கு. balancing for is settled to shares in which company? Yes Limited. How much we are paying? 1.2. The balancing for is settled to them. That is equity shareholders account. If they would have asked ledger account, this is what we would have done. Instead of that, in the same order, we pass which one? Journal entry. No need of ledger account. They ask you only which one? Journal entry in the books of both purchasing company as well as in which company? Selling company. No balance sheet is asked actually. Clear? Transfer assets at book value, transfer liabilities at book value, purchase consideration due 1.2 crores that is received, loss is transferred to equity shareholders account, capital and reserves are transferred. At the end, the final settlement is made to whom? Equity shareholders. ledger prepare பண்ணால் அதே தான் வரும். This is a balancing. Balance is finally settled. Done. This is for which question number? 9. Read question number 10. Balance sheet of which one is given? X and Y is given to us. Please read through, go through, then we will solve. We are given share capital, reserves and surplus, second company negative இருக்கு. Long-term borrowings, trade payables, plant property equipment, various things are given to us. Selling company has a debit balance in which account? P&L account. Loan from X, loan from Y இருக்கிறத mutual cancel பண்ணும். A new company XY is formed to acquire the sundry assets and trade payable. For this purpose, X Limited is revalued at what? 1 lakh. Debt due to X Limited is also discharged கொடுத்திருக்கான். Show ledger accounts to close the books of which company? X Limited. Wait. New company XY Limited is formed. New company XY Limited is formed. Wait, X is not purchasing Y, Y is not purchasing X. The two selling companies and there is one purchasing company. They ask you to close the ledgers of which company? X Limited கேட்டிருக்காங்க. Before that, sundry assets of X Limited is revalued at how much? 1 lakh கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. So, X Limited assets பாருங்க. What are the assets given? 1,20,000 non-current investments are given. The non-current investments, some details are given to us. So before we start to solve, what is the thing we have to work out? Start. Question number 10 ICI practice material. Can you work out and tell me what is the purchase consideration? Try to work out and tell me what is the purchase consideration. Sundry assets are revalued at 1 lakh. So sundry assets 1 lakh கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. Assets minus liability will give us purchase consideration. இங்க ஒரே ஒரு liability தான். We are doing in the books of which company? X Limited. ஒரே ஒரு liability தான் இருக்கு. என்ன liability? Sundry assets means total assets. It's not PPE. Total assets revalue பண்ணது எவ்வளவு revalue பண்ணிருக்கோம்? 1 lakh தான். So purchase consideration, sundry assets revalued at 1 lakh less liability. That liability is nothing but trade payable. ஒரே ஒரு external liability தான். What is the trade payable? 25,000 less panna net assets will give us what? Purchase consideration 75,000. Then do the ledger accounts. In the books of which company? X Limited, that is selling company. Transfer assets. Plant property equipment book value தான் transfer பண்ணுவோம். 1,20,000. Other things. Some other investment கொடுத்திருக்கானு. Investments or loans in advance ஏதோ 15,000. அது mutual owing will be eliminated in the books of purchasing company தான். Selling company அப்படியே transfer பண்ண வேண்டியதான். Liability sideல current liabilities எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? 25,000. That's it. XY Limited purchase consideration due. XY Limited purchase consideration due எவ்வளோ இருக்குங்க? 75,000. Loss will be transferred to equity shareholders. So to realization 75,000 to realization 75,000 by shares in which company? XY Limited. 75,000. Equity shareholders. What is equity share capital? What is equity share capital of the first company? 1 lakh. Reserves and surplus of the first company? 10,000. Positive balance. First company positive balance 10,000. To realization loss எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? Loss realization 35,000. Then shares in XY Limited is allotted for the balance. The 75,000 is given for the balance. This account also tallies. That's it. All the answer, all the answer. Mutual dues will be eliminated in the books of which company? Purchasing company. The shares received is allotted to equity shareholders. உங்க புக்ல ஒரு சின்ன மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க, ignore it. This is a correct answer. Purchase consideration வந்து 90,000 எடுத்திருப்பாங்க புக்ல. உங்க சொல்யூஷன்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா actually purchase consideration is 1 lakh minus 25,000. It should be how much? 75,000. பட் உங்க புக்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு சின்ன மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. It's actually a fundamental mistake. Fundamental mistake என்ன நான் சொல்லிடுறேன். If you look at the solution, you'll understand it. The question number என்ன? Question number 10 தானே. இது எல்லாமே கரெக்டா போட்டிருப்பாங்க. அதாவது to sundry assets எவ்வளோ? 1,20,000. ஆக்சுவலாக லோன் இங்கே தான் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணியிருக்கணும். பை ட்ரேட் ரிப்பேயபிள் பர்ச்சேஸ் கன்சிடரேஷன் 75,000. ஓகே, இதெல்லாமே கரெக்டாக தான் போட்டிருப்போம். பட் ஆக்சுவலாக இங்கே லோன் ஷுட் ஹவ் பீன் ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர்ட் இயர். ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸ் அக்கௌண்ட் போடும்போது அந்த இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் எடுத்துருக்க மாட்டாங்க, தான் தப்பு. அந்த ஷேர்ஸ் வாங்குற மாதிரி ஏதோ போட்டிருப்பாங்க, அந்த மாதிரி எதுவுமே கிடையாது. தட்ஸ் ராங். தட் இஸ் ராங். ஆக்சுவலாக ஈவன் வென் யூ கெட் ஷேர்ஸ், அது அவங்களோட மியூச்சுவல் லோன் தானே, அது எப்படி எடுத்துக்க முடியும்? ஸோ தெர் இஸ் அ ராங் ஒன். இதான் கரெக்ட் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட். 75,000 தான் ஷேர்ஸ் வாங்குறோம். வாட் எவர் வி ஹவ் டன் இஸ் கரெக்ட். திஸ் இஸ் அ கரெக்ட் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட். Please ignore whatever is done in your question. The resolution. This is question number 10. Read question number 11. Read question number 11. we'll just see the solution, not the workings. Direct share capital 30 lakhs, reserves and surplus 3 lakhs 60, long term provisions are given, trade payables, PPE, intangible assets, inventory, trade receivables. Okay, they have given notes to accounts and all. Okay, notes to accounts and all. Okay, the assets and liabilities of both the company is taken at what? Book value. The companies were allotted equity shares of 100 each in lieu of what? Purchase consideration. The purchase consideration will be 30,000. 20,000 for super fast, 10,000 for what? Fast express கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. 20,000, 10,000 அப்படியே கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. 20,000 and what? 10,000. 20,000 and 10,000 அப்படியே கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Purchase consideration. Prepare which one? Opening balance sheet கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. All assets and liabilities are taken over at what value? Book value. Allotted equity shares of how much? 100 each in lieu of purchase consideration amounting to, actually the rupees 30,000 கிடையாது, 30,000 shares அது. 20,000 into 100 போடுங்க, எவ்வளவு வரும்? 20,000 into 100, actually the rupees கிடையாது, 30,000 number of shares actually. 20,000 into 100, 20 lakhs. 10,000 into 100, 10 lakhs. இந்த ப்ராப்ளத்தில் purchase consideration தான் share capital. 20,000 into 100 என்ன இருக்கும்? 20 lakhs. 10,000 into 100, 10 lakhs. So purchase consideration is going to be what? The question left, purchase consideration is going to be which one? Share capital. Purchase consideration will be equal to share capital. Up automatic என்ன ஆயிடும்? Purchase consideration will become what? Share capital of the new company. Purchase consideration will become share capital of the new company. Merger method le, all reserves will be merged. 1 lakh plus 2 lakh 60. Reserves and surplus will be அப்படியே ரெண்டே ஆட் பண்ணி போட்டு ஓவர் 3 lakh 60. லாங் டேர்ம் ப்ரொவிஷன்ஸ் அப்படியே அந்த 1 lakh வந்துடும். பிபிஇ அப்படியே ஆட் பண்ணிக்க வேண்டியதான். இன்டான்ஜிபிள் அசெட்ஸ், கேஷ் அண்ட் கேஷ் ஈக்குவலன்ஸ் அப்படியே ரெண்டு பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் ஆட் பண்ணால் டோட்டல் வந்துடும். They would have done the same thing. Maybe you just stay with the problem. I'll just go with the solution. Okay, you can find அந்த ப்ராப்ளத்திலேயே பாருங்க இருக்கும். ஷேர் கேபிட்டல் 30 lakhs. எப்படி 30 lakhs? 20,000 into 10, 100 and the 10,000 into 100, 30 lakhs ஆயிடும். Reserves and surplus, super plus fast அப்படியே 3 lakh 60 வந்துடும். Long term provision super plus fast. Trade payable super plus fast. PPE super plus fast. Intangible asset super plus fast. Inventory, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents அப்படியே ஆட் பண்ணி போட்டா டோட்டல் என்ன வந்துடும்? 35 lakh 60. ஓகே, ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எல்லாம் கேட்டாங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு அது போனஸ் மார்க் மாதிரி. அப்படியே ஜஸ்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் த பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் ஆடிங் வாட்? அசெட்ஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் கொஸ்டின் நம்பர் 11. இதே மாடலில் கிளாஸில் ஒரு சம் பண்ணியிருப்போம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். That is question number 11. Question number 12 பாருங்க. Balance sheet of which company is given? Any doubt in question number 11? I request you to have some time and go through problem and solution. Solution is nothing but adding two balance sheets. அவ்வளவுதான். Because share capital is purchase consideration. Automatically reserves அப்படியே maintain ஆயிடும். Excess இருந்தால் தானே reserves will reduce. So automatically reserves will be maintained. All other assets and liability அப்படியே book value எடுத்து add பண்ண over. Question number 12 பாருங்க. Balance sheet of which company? P Limited and which one? B Limited is given. Share capital, reserves, long-term borrowings, short-term provisions, எல்லாமே okay. Adjustments, working notes, எல்லாமே okay. கீழே என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கா? All bills payable are nothing but what? Mutual dues ன்னு கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. அந்த trade payable, trade receivable கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. இந்த மாதிரி சம் நம்ம கிளாஸ்ல போட்டிருக்கோமே. P Limited took over V Limited. Amalgamation in the nature of what? Merger ne கொடுத்துட்டா. Discharge the consideration, will allot fully paid up shares of 10 each for every 2 shares held. 3 shares for every 2 shares held. Debentures 13% debentures. இதே சம் போட்டிருக்கோமா கிளாஸ்ல? இதே சம் தான். G Limited, P Limited னு பண்ணிருக்கோம். இதே கொஸ்டின். பட் டிஃபரெண்ட் அமௌண்ட் இதே தான் இருக்கும். இந்த G Limited, P Limitedனு சொல்லிட்டு ஆல் ட்ரேட் பேயபிள்ஸ் ஆர் அந்த மாதிரி போட்டிருக்கும் இல்லையே, வேற ஏதோ போட்ட மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. Okay, we'll do it, no issues. Following is the balance sheet of P Limited and V Limited. We'll do that. We'll do this first. What is the purchase consideration? 3 shares for every 2 shares held. 3 shares for every 2 shares held. Past journal entries in the books of which company? P Limited, and prepare the balance sheet. Expense on amalgamation to be borne by what? P Limited is given to us. So in the books of which company they asked for? Purchasing company journal entry as well as what? Balance sheet after merger they asked for. Start. Question number 12. Purchase consideration. How many shares are there in the selling company? How many shares are there in the selling company? எவ்வளவு shares கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? 6,000 lakhs divided by 10 போட்டா 600 lakhs shares வரும். 600 lakh shares into 3 for every 2 shares na எவ்வளவு shares தரணும்? 9,000 lakhs or 900 lakhs shares to be given at the rate of rupees 10 na, then purchase consideration will be rupees 9,000 lakhs. Direct போடலாம் 6,000 into 2 by 3. இந்த face value தானே share allot பண்றோம். 6,000 into 3 by 2. 6,000 into what? 3 by 2. Directly it will give the answer. In the books of which company? P Limited. Amalgamation in the nature of merger. Amalgamation in the nature of merger. What is the first entry we'll pass? Business purchase account debtor to liquidator of which company? V Limited. You can do it along with me. What is the purchase consideration? 9,000 rupees in lakhs. 9,000 rupees in lakhs. Then debit the assets. Classroom purpose kaga use sundry assets account. Sundry assets account debtor. Total of all the assets. எவ்வளவு இருக்குங்க? 6,750. 6,750. இல்ல 12,500. Total of assets 12,500. எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்படி போடாதீங்க. இண்டிவிஜுவல் அசெட்ஸ் டெபிட் பண்ணுங்க. liability credit பண்ணும்போது credit all the liabilities separately. Foreign project reserve account. What is a foreign project reserve account? All the reserves you have to credit இல்லையா? To P&L account. P&L account எவ்வளவு இருக்குங்க? 825 இருக்கும் P&L accountல. To அந்த debentures எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 1,000 இருக்கு. Credit all the liabilities. General reserve will be a balancing figure. Don't take general reserve now. To creditors account, what is the creditors account? Book value 463. To provision account 702 provisions. அப்புறம் business purchase எவ்வளவு இருக்கும்? 9,000 purchase consideration to general reserve balancing figure. General reserve எவ்வளவு balancing for வருது? Sorry. 200 general reserve balancing for our. Now we used to verify this. What is the purchase consideration? Purchase consideration is 9,000. What is the share capital of selling company? Share capital of selling company 6,000 இருக்கு. அப்போ excess எவ்வளவு pay பண்ணிருக்கீங்க? 3,000. This will get adjusted with general reserve. This will get adjusted with general reserve. That's why the general reserve is, what is given in the general reserve? 3,200 கொடுத்திருக்காங்க minus 3,000. That's why we get a balancing figure of 200. Excess gets adjusted with general reserve. That is why this balancing for 200 general reserve comes. Then settle the purchase consideration. What is entry for settlement? Liquidator of which company? B Limited account. Date are 9,000. We paid in the form of equity share capital 9,000. There is a mutual due, Leah. What is a mutual due? Bills payable to bills receivable account. Bills payable account data to bills receivable account. எவ்வளோ all bills payable are due னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. What is the bills payable? All bills payable are in favor of other company கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Bills payable எவ்வளோ இருக்கு பாருங்க. Bills payable liability sideல 120 இருக்கு, asset sideல இருக்கா, அதே இருக்கா பாருங்க, செக் பண்ணுங்க. இங்க bills payable இருக்கு, அங்க bills receivable 80 தான் இருக்கு. What is the meaning? This company has a bills payable of 120 accepted in favor of other company. Other company is having only a bills receivable of 80 na, remaining bills are discounted. For example, I accepted a bill worth 120 to your company, 120 lakhs. உங்க கம்பெனில பில்ஸ் ரிசீவபிள் எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? நான் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணியிருந்தா உங்களை பில்ஸ் ரிசீவபிளா இருக்கணும் இல்லையா? இல்லைன்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? நம்ம ஹோல்டிங் கம்பெனிலே பார்த்துருக்கோம். மியூச்சுவல் பில்ஸ் ஈக்குவல் இல்லைன்னு அர்த்தம். பில்ஸ் ஆர் டிஸ்கவுண்டட். ஸோ நெட் மியூச்சுவல் டியூஸ் ஒன்லி 80. Next, amalgamation expenses. Preliminary expenses account data to cash or bank account. எவ்வளோ? 1 lakh. ரொம்ப simple. This will be adjusted in reserves and surplus in balance sheet. Actually அவங்க இதுல blatant mistake பண்ணிருக்காங்க. Expense on amalgamation goodwill adjust பண்ணிருக்காங்க. It is not goodwill, it is merger. So expense on amalgamation is known as which one? Preliminary expenses, or you can say amalgamation expense account data to which account? Bank account. This will be adjusted in what? Reserves and surplus in balance sheet. உங்க bookல goodwill account data to cash னு போட்டு அப்புறமா P&L account data to goodwill account write off பண்ணிருக்காங்க. அது கிடையாது. The amalgamation expenses should be adjusted with which account? Okay, pay it and adjust it with what? P&L account later on. You can call it as preliminary expenses, amalgamation expenses. You cannot call it as goodwill. Goodwill is the word that is used only in the case of which one? Purchase. Balance sheet of which company? P Limited after amalgamation. Without format போட்டுக்கலாம் கிளாஸ்ல, எக்ஸாம்ல அந்த ஃபார்மேட்லாம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணி, just to save the time. Share capital. Share capital of P எவ்வளோ இருக்கு ஆல்ரெடி? இதெல்லாம் ஒர்க்கிங் நோட்ஸாக போடணும், பட் நான் பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட்னு சொல்கிறேன். பட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இது மாதிரி பண்ணாதீங்க. பர்ச்சேசிங் கம்பெனியோட பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் எவ்வளோ இருக்கு 15,000 ப்ளஸ் ஜர்னல் என்ட்ரியில் கொடுத்த பர்ச்சேஸ் கன்சிடரேஷன் 9,000 15,000 plus 9,000 24,000 15,000 plus 9,000 24,000 reserves and surplus பர்ச்சேசிங் கம்பெனி எவ்வளோ இருக்குன்னு பாருங்க செல்லிங் கம்பெனி எவ்வளோ டேக் ஓவர் பண்ணியிருக்கோன்னு பாருங்க தனித்தனியாக போட்டுக்கலாம் ரிசர்வ்ஸ் அண்ட் சர்ப்ளஸ் reserves and surplus of purchasing company 15,370 இல்ல சொல்லுங்க 15,370 தானே ஓகே வி லிமிட்டடோட ஃபாரின் ப்ராஜெக்ட் ரிசர்வ் ஜர்னல் என்ட்ரியில பாருங்க ஃபாரின் ப்ராஜெக்ட் ரிசர்வ் பிளஸ் P&L அக்கவுண்ட் பிளஸ் ஜர்னல் ரிசர்வ் ஜர்னல் என்ட்ரியில் இருக்கிறது பாருங்க this foreign project reserve, P&L account, and which one? General reserve. 310 plus 825 plus general reserve as per the journal entry. Less amalgamation expenses. Amalgamation expenses in the adjust பண்ணிடும். This is your reserves and surplus. Purchasing company அப்படியே கன்டினியூ ஆயிடும் செல்லிங் கம்பெனியோட ஜர்னல் என்ட்ரியில பாருங்க this is reserves and surplus வேற என்ன இருக்கு long term borrowings purchasing company இருக்கா debentures no purchasing company கிடையாது V limited ஓட debentures எவ்வளவுக்கு 1000 so total 1000 வந்துடும் then trade payables of purchasing company and the creditors plus bills payable adjustmentல கொடுத்திருக்காங்க trade payable இருக்கு 1200 plus selling company ஓட trade payables of selling company ஓட இருக்கு 463 minus mutual due 18 adjust பண்ணிருக்கோம் journal entry also we passed so 1200 plus 463 minus what 80 that will come under current liabilities then what is the next one provisions purchasing company P limited எவ்வளவு இருக்கு பாருங்க provisions of P limited how much is there 1830 plus selling company it is continuing as it is 702 1830 plus 702 இந்த மாதிரி எக்ஸாம்ல பண்ணிடாதீங்க it is just a working note not even a working note okay it is not even a working note just to save the time asset sideல plant property and equipment purchasing company இது பாருங்க balance sheet எவ்வளவு இருக்கு 330 plus selling company ஓட the balance sheet it is merger so we can take the book value so what is the total then வேற என்ன இருக்கு assets inventory P plus V 7862 plus how much 11903 then trade receivables P plus V minus on the mutual due எவ்வளவு list பண்ணு 80 trade receivables 3 Then cash and cash equivalents. P plus B minus amalgamation expenses. Net amount. 1722. The balance sheet tallies. So mutual dues eliminated both from trade payables as well as what? Trade receivables. Provisions, of course, add both and show. Amalgamation expenses, of course, the cash is paid as well as it is adjusted with which one? Resource and surplus. This is for question number 12. Question number 13, நம்ம classல பண்ண question தான் அது. You would have worked out on the proportion of profitability based பண்ணி debentures allot பண்ணுவான், shares allot பண்ணுவான், அந்த மாதிரி question. You can try it at home. இதே மாதிரி கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. Share capital PPE, revalued figures of non-current assets and current assets, Sun and Neptune கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. 15% debentures of Jupiter Limited னு கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. Same question we have done in the class. The question that revalued figures கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. 15% debentures of Neptune Limited to provide 8% return on their respective capital னு சொல்லி calculate debentures and shares to be allotted. Okay, and prepare the balance sheet and the மாதிரி question. It's a very simple question. You can go through that. இதே மாதிரி question நம்ம பண்ணிருப்போம் classல. You would have done work purchase consideration working. அந்த average profit work out பண்ணி share பண்ற மாதிரி போட்டிருப்பாங்க. இல்லையா? We have done this question while calculating purchase consideration. Average profit அந்த 2,75,000, 3,25,000. இந்த ரேஷியோல அந்த ஷேரை ஸ்பிளிட் பண்ணிப்பாங்க. 275 is to 325 ரேஷியோல ஷேரை ஸ்பிளிட் பண்ணிப்பான். Then they will work out capital employed. அதுக்கு 8% ரிட்டர்ன் வேணும். அதுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க? Debentures issue பண்ணுவாங்க. Debentures issue பண்ற மாதிரி we have done this. Then they would have prepared what? Balance sheet. Go through at home. இதே மாதிரி question பண்ணிருக்கோம். This is which one? RTP. Question number 12. Naresh Limited had the following transaction during the financial year. They acquired running business for how much? 10,80,000. Net assets எவ்வளவு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? 5,16,000. There is a goodwill னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. So difference will be taken as what? Goodwill. Naresh Limited has taken a franchisee to operate restaurant 1,80,000 for an annual fees of 10% of net revenue. The franchise expires after what? 5 years. Net revenue 60,000 during the financial year கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Next என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கான்? On 20th August 2022, Naresh Limited incurred cost 2,40,000 to register a product. It expects the patent life to be what? 8 years. Okay, to amortize all the intangible assets on SLM for the maximum period permitted by the accounting standard, taking full year amortization on the acquisition. Goodwill on acquisition can be amortized over what? 5 years period னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Actually, AS 14 கிடையாது. AS 29 based question அது. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? 29 இல்ல. AS 26. AS 26. Intangible asset based பண்ணி question அது. Read the question once again, then we will see. அது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன்று மட்டும் அமால்கமேஷன் ஓகே. ஓகே, 10,80,000 பர்ச்சேஸ் கன்சிடரேஷன் பே பண்ணிருக்கோம். 5,16,000 is the net assets இல்லையா? அப்போ goodwill எவ்வளோ இருக்கும்? Difference is goodwill. Net assets purchase consideration compare பண்ணா what is the goodwill? Actually AS14 சொல்ல முடியாது, AS26 based on goodwill in amalgamation. Goodwill in amalgamation. Goodwill in amalgamation எவ்வளோ இருக்குங்க? 10 lakh 80 purchase consideration minus net assets எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? 5 lakh 16,000 எவ்வளோ இருக்கு goodwill? 5 lakh 64,000. இதில் amortization, this is your cost. Amortization based on 5 years life. Okay, 5 years life. 5 years life. 5,64,000 divided by 5 years போட்ட amortization வரும். Then closing balance. Closing balance will be cost minus amortized amount will give us which balance? Closing balance. ரொம்ப simple. This is for the point number 1. Point number 2. Point number 2. What is the first one? Franchise. எவ்வளோ pay பண்ணிருக்கோம்? 1,80,000. It expires after how many years? 6 years. Maximum life. Franchise order. Capital cost. What is the capital cost? 1,80,000. Amortization period 6 years. Maximum you can amortize for how many years? 10 years. Otherly amortization and intangible is maximum 10 years. So closing balance will be minus 30 pota closing balance vandrum. Franchise order annual cost, annual fee will be taken as what? Revenue expenditure. எவ்வளோ pay பண்றோம் revenue? 60,000 into 10%. 60,000 into எவ்வளோ percentageங்க? அது அப்படியே revenue expenditure தான். 60,000 into 10%, it will be taken as revenue expenditure. 6,000. Then this is point number 2. Point number 3. Incurred cost 2,40,000 to develop a patent. The life is how many years? 8 years. Third one, cost of patent. What is the cost of patent? 2,40,000. Life எவ்வளோ years? 8 years. Maximum for 10 years போலாம், 8 years தான். So 2,40,000 divided by 8 years. So balance will come in what? Balance sheet. So this will be the total amount recognized as expense in P&L account. இது P&L accountல போட வேண்டிய amount. This is the carrying amount for balance sheet. This is the carrying amount for which one? Balance sheet. Okay, the copy பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்னா we'll directly see the solution. Question number 12 தானே பார்க்கலாம். Let us see our answer with other answers. அது நோட் போட்டிருப்போம். நம்ம ஒரு டேபிள் மாதிரி போட்டால் ஒரே டேபிள் ஆன்சர் முடிச்சிடும். Clear? What is the cost of the asset? What is the amortization to be recognized in P&L account? What is the closing balance for balance sheet? ஒரே டேபிளில் முடிச்சிடுறோம். பட் அவங்க போடும்போது they would have worked out. Goodwill 10,80,000, 5,64,000, the 5 years amortization போட்டிருப்பான். Franchise amortization over a period of how many years? 6 years னு போட்டிருப்பாங்க. Patent amortization over a period of how many years? 8 years. Balance should be shown in what? Balance sheet. அதுதான் balance should be shown in balance sheet. 8,11,200 intangible assets. அதான் நம்ம ஒரு காட்டுறோம். Actually நம்ம extra working கூட காட்டுறோம். How much will be recognized in which account? P&L account also we show. That's it. இந்த மாதிரிலாம் கேவலமாக கொஸ்டின் கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. டெஃபினட்டா யூ வில் ஹேவ் a better question. இவ்வளோதான் நான் AS14 கேட்டிருக்கேன். சான்ஸே இல்லை இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் வரதுக்கெல்லாம். ப்ளீஸ் ரெஃபர், இதை நம்பிட்டு போகாதீங்க. ப்ளீஸ் ரெஃபர் அவர் கிளாஸ் ரூம் ஒர்க், ரெகுலர் கிளாஸ் ரூம் ஒர்க். ஸோ ரெகுலர் கிளாஸ் ரூம் ஒர்க்கில் வீட் ஆஃப் கவர்ட் மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் தி இல்லஸ்ட்ரேஷன்ஸ் பண்ணியிருப்போம் அண்ட் பாஸ்ட் எக்ஸாம் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கவர் பண்ணியிருப்போம். ப்ளஸ் இன்னைக்கு ஆர்டிபியில் இந்த மாடல் டெஸ்ட் பேப்பரில் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் அந்த சூப்பர் ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக என்ன முடியாது, ஹரிவாயு லிமிடெட் அது கிளாஸில் பண்ணதே தான். இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வந்து சான்ஸே இல்லை. ஓகே, ரொம்ப ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் கொஸ்டின். AS26 இதே மாதிரி தான் ஒரு கொஸ்டின் பண்ணியிருப்போம். நாளைக்கு என்னென்ன சாப்டர் போட்டிருந்தோம்? கன்சாலிடேஷன் அண்ட் கேஷ். Six AM to 6 PM எல்லாம் தேவையில்லை. 6 AM to 10:30 we can finish. போதும். கிளாஸ் ரூம் ஒர்க் ப்ளஸ் இந்த ரிவிஷன் ஒர்க் மோர் தென் சஃபிஷியன்ட். இதுக்கு மேலே தேவையில்லாமல் லோட் பண்ண வேண்டும். So please go through which one? Please go through அந்த நம்மளோட கிளாஸ் ரூம் ஒர்க் இல்லையா? விச் ஒர்க்? கன்சாலிடேட்டட் ஃபினான்ஷியல் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டோட பேசிக் ஸ்டெப்ஸ் எல்லாமே அந்த ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு 10 pages எடுத்திருப்பீங்க தியரி. எடுத்தோடனே அதை ஃபுல்லாக கோ த்ரூ பண்ணுங்க. அந்த ஸ்டெப்ஸ் இன் கன்சாலிடேஷன், தென் விச் ஒன் நெக்ஸ்ட்? அந்த கேபிட்டல் ப்ராஃபிட், ரெவென்யூ ப்ராஃபிட், ஸ்பெஷல் அட்ஜஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ், அந்த ப்ரிலிமினரி எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணுறது, டிவிடெண்ட் அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுறது, அந்த மியூச்சுவல் டியூஸ், ரீவாலுவேஷன் ப்ராஃபிட்ஸ் எல்லாமே கோ த்ரூ பண்ணுங்க. P&L account also you just go through for a glance. Then we will do. So what we will practice is we will see MTP, PTP, and which one? And the exercise problems in your ICI material. Majority in the past also they used to pick questions from model test paper, practice test paper, as well as what ICI material. Model test paper, practice test paper லந்தே உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 40% of the questions concepts will get repeated. அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். And if they don't ask, no student will refer that. Future அது வேஸ்டாக கொடுத்த மாதிரி ஆகிடும். They will ensure that they ask from that. Of course, ICI material primary. Then, of course, நம்மளோட கிளாஸ்ல பண்ண ஒர்க்ஸ் டெஃபினட்டாக you have to go through.